dietitian over at KSB Hospital, and this month we are here at County Market here in Dixon, Illinois, for a shopping tour of high fiber grains. So thank you so much to County Market for letting us do our video here. So for a quick review, during my last presentation I talked about fiber, so I wanted to start off with a quick review on fiber. So fiber is a type of carbohydrate that your body can't digest, and it passes through your body undigested, and it's found in plant foods. So sources of fiber include whole fruits and veggies, especially with the skins on, whole grains, beans and lentils, nuts and seeds. So there are many examples of high fiber grains, which is what I'll be talking about today, including amaranth, barley, brown rice, bulgur or cracked wheat, corn, farro, millet, oatmeal, popcorn, quinoa, rye, sorghum, spelt, whole wheat products, and wild rice. There's quite a few options there. And fiber can help to prevent constipation, may help prevent heart disease by reducing cholesterol, can aid in weight management by keeping us full for longer, and can also help control blood sugar levels for those with diabetes. So next I have gathered several products here that you can see on the table that I would like to talk with you about today. So you can typically find these in a few specific aisles at your local grocery store, including the baking aisle. So you can find a lot of these grains over here, like amaranth, bulgur, farro, millet, and oats, like old-fashioned oats or rolled oats. You can also find some of your food pastas in the Italian or pasta aisle. In the rice or oriental aisle, you can find brown rice, quinoas, a couple different types of quinoas, some barley, as well as the bread aisle, where you can find some whole grain bread or some rye bread. And then also the cereal aisle, where you can find your whole grain cereals and some other oatmeal. And then also the snack aisle, where you can find some popcorn. So next I want to go over some label reading with you all for some of these products. Now remember from my last presentation, we talked about how a good source of fiber provides at least 10 to 19% of the daily value of fiber. An excellent source of fiber provides at least 20% or more of that daily value of fiber. So when looking at the food label, you want to start by looking at the serving size and then look at dietary fiber. So I will go over a few examples with you today. So we'll take a look at these quinoa. Both of these have the same amount of fiber in there. They're both 3 grams of fiber, which will be 11% of the daily value, so that will be a good source of fiber. Looking at this barley here, this is 5 grams of fiber, and that's 19% daily value, so also another good source of fiber. Looking at this popcorn has 4 grams of fiber, so 14% of the daily value of fiber, so another good source of fiber. We want to look at some of these grains over here. We got farro. This one also has 5 grams of fiber, so another 18% daily value. Looking at this millet flour, this one happens to be 1 gram of fiber or 4% of the daily value, so it's under that good percent, but it still has some fiber in there. Here's some amaranth flour. It has 4 grams of fiber or 14% of the daily value of fiber, so another good source of fiber. Here we have bulgur or cracked wheat. This one has 5 grams of fiber, so about 18% of the daily value of fiber, so another good source of fiber. And then lastly, we can take a look here at these rolled oats. These also have 5 grams of fiber, which is also 18% of the daily value of fiber, so again, another good source of fiber. So you can see here we have a lot of good sources of fiber here. And so next I want to do some comparisons. So if you want to take a look at this whole wheat bread right here, so it says 100% whole wheat bread versus this white bread. Look at the food label, you can see that this whole wheat bread here has 3 grams of the daily value, or 3 grams and 11% of the daily value, so a good source of fiber, whereas this white bread only has about 1 gram of fiber. So this wheat bread here, the whole wheat bread has quite a bit more fiber than the white bread. So next we can take a look at some pasta, which I have over here. So we have some whole grain rotini pasta versus just a regular white rotini pasta. So looking at the fiber, this one has 7 grams of fiber, just 25% of the daily value, so that's an excellent source of fiber in this pasta. If you compare that to this white pasta, this one only has 2 grams, so it's 8% of the daily value, so it's under that threshold for the good source. So this one has quite a lot more fiber in here, so that's a much better choice. And then lastly, we also have some rice here. So we have our long grain wild rice and some long grain white rice. So this long grain wild rice has about 1 gram per serving or 4 grams of fiber per container, which is either 4% or 14% of the daily value of fiber. Versus this white rice, which does not have any fiber in it at all. It's 0 grams. So this one is a much better source of fiber for you. So I hope that helps to know that there's a lot of different options for high fiber grains out there in your local grocery store, and that you can find some comparable options versus, whole grain versus white options. And then so lastly, I've also provided a few recipes from the American Heart Association on high fiber grains, using some of these products here. So there's old-fashioned vegetable barley soup that you can make with some barley here. We have cinnamon quinoa with peaches, which you can make with either type of quinoa. And then also festive turkey rice salad, which you can use your long grain wild rice. You can use brown rice for that recipe. Those are all going to be some good heart-healthy recipes made with whole grains. So thank you again for joining me for this presentation on high fiber grains. I hope you learned a little more about where to find these different types of grains, high fiber grains in the grocery store, and also how to assess fiber content. Be sure to check out the link in the description of this video for those 3 recipes I provided. And also be sure to check out my next few presentations, as I will dive deeper into many of these grains I spoke about today, including the health benefits, some cooking tips, and more recipes. So thank you so much and have a great night.